I've gotten many requests to repeat the meditation we did in February. So I'm going to read an interpretation of the Lord's Prayer written by my sister Jana. I'm going to read it more than once. I'll leave some space between each line of the prayer and some space between each reading for your own contemplation and thoughts. Chris is going to play our background music. So if you're comfortable, you can close your eyes and settle back into your seat. And I'd like everyone to take 3 deep breaths. My beloved Creator, which art in the heaven within my heart, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom of consciousness come. Thy will of love be done here on earth as it is throughout the universe. You give me this day my sustenance. Thank you, Eternal One. You bless me as I forgive myself for my errors and forgive those who err against me. You lead me not into the temptation of my unskilled behaviors, but deliver me from my fear and thoughts of separation. For mine is the kingdom of peace, the power of love, and the glorious, radiant, infinite joy that is within me, now and forevermore. My beloved Creator, which art in the heaven within my heart, hallowed be thy name. My kingdom of consciousness come. Thy will of love be done here on earth as it is throughout the universe. You give me this day my sustenance. Thank you, Eternal One. You bless me as I forgive myself for my errors and forgive those who err against me. You lead me not into the temptation of my unskilled behaviors, but deliver me from my fear and thoughts of separation. For mine is the kingdom of peace, power of love, and the glorious, radiant, infinite joy that is within me, now and forevermore. Amen. I have to tell a funny story about that. When I was a young minister, this is way back in the 1980s, but when I was a young minister, one of my jobs was to go to a nursing home once a month and do the service. And if we didn't sing in the garden, they let me know worship had not happened. So that was their favorite song. Of course, it didn't sound like that, but that was a favorite to them. All right, so we're going to think back today, and I want you to think all the way back to your school days. Do you remember your favorite part of school? What was your favorite subject? While in school, we were presented with many new ideas and new opportunities to learn every day. There were lots of subjects to choose from that might catch your interest or curiosity. Now I want you to fast forward to today. What is it you want to learn now? What captures your interest or your curiosity? What areas of learning are you currently exploring? I want you to have an answer in mind. It could be anything from a question that keeps popping up in your mind to a class you're taking at the gym or Ollie or some sort of continuing education. Do you have your answer in mind? Now, when I say spaghetti, you're going to turn to the person either in front or beside you and behind you, next to you, and you're going to tell them your answer. You're going to share what interests you, what has captivated your curiosity with that person. Are you ready? Spaghetti. Okay, I would like you to share your last thought or idea. Let that person know your last thought or idea and thank them. I want to say very good job to those of you who turned around and talked to a stranger, right? That was good because we're going to do more of that this service. So just so you're forewarned. Okay. I heard many different things. So let's find out. How many people are taking a class from Yavapai College through Ollie or Continuing Ed? Oh, just a few. All right. Who is exploring gardening? How about cooking? Oh, a few. Anyone learning about good health, like natural path remedies, essential oils, crystals, or physical endurance and strength? So the hands went like this. Yeah, so okay. Maybe I put too many things in that sentence. What about an artistic endeavor? Oh, quite a few. So do we have anybody doing painting, any kind of painting? How about jewelry making? Over here, good. Woodworking? Yes, we've got some woodworkers, quite a few actually. Something to do with fabric art, maybe quilting or creating things. Okay, I saw 3 hands. Who's reading a good book that's really making you think? Wow, I'd like the names of those books. Okay, that's good. I could go on, of course, but it seems like part of our human condition is curiosity. We all lean into wanting to know more about whatever makes us curious. What I like best about preparing the curriculum for adults and youth here at Unity is how much I learn. In 2017, Reverend Terrence Paget asked me to write a spirit group guide on gratitude. I had to find articles and do a lot of reading and thinking about it. That turned out to be a deeply satisfying experience. I think I may have gotten more out of it than the people in the group. I don't know. That same year, Jessica Harwood asked me to put together an 8-week summer program for our youth on the spiritual lessons of superheroes. I thought that was a great idea. There was only one problem. I never read comic books. Beyond Batman and Spider-Man, I couldn't name a superhero. So the research began. And that summer, our youth investigated the spiritual lessons found in the Guardians of the Galaxy, Wonder Woman, Spider-Man, and Iron Man. I learned so much about the thoughtfulness and purposefulness of the superheroes created by the late Stan Lee. Mr. Lee had important universal lessons to teach to his comic book readers. Stan Lee was a genius. He used his imagination to create a world where love and kindness were the hallmarks of greatness. Most of his comic book heroes had to start by listening to their inner intuition and believing in themselves. That was a great lesson for the youth. Each superhero knew that he or she must use their power for good. Mr. Lee's themes included being a good friend, spreading love and kindness, the balance between power and responsibility, using whatever your abilities are, your talents, your skills, your power, to help care for and help others. No matter what the story, he emphasized that we all have a responsibility to make the world a better place. And one of my favorite turned out to be Iron Man, because Iron Man did not have a superpower. He was not bit by a spider or come from another world or any of those things. What he was smart. He used his intelligence and technology to create things to help make the world a better place. This January and February are Uniteens, that's middle school age, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and the YOU, which stands for Youth of Unity, and that's our high school kids, have been investigating the prayer for protection by James Dillett Freeman. I especially wanted to explore this prayer after hearing our Uniteens and YOU students say the prayer at the Fall Southwest Regional Rally that was held at our church. I discovered that the Youth of Unity, who attend summer camp, international camps, weekend rallies, and even one-day rallies, say the prayer of protection differently than we do in church. They do not say the line, "Wherever I am, God is." Instead, after they say, "The presence of God watches over me," the youth shout out, and I do mean shout, the author's name, James Dillett Freeman. Okay. So, nope, I don't think I have my stuff. Yeah, okay, so we're going to look at this prayer because my curiosity was so piqued. Why did they make that change? And we use this booklet, A Prayer for Protection, a beloved prayer brought to life, and that's what created our curriculum. And it helped our youth understand this prayer at a much deeper level because they had not just the prayer, but they explained each line, and then they had all sorts of stories written by Unity ministers and Unity leaders about how they applied that to their lives. So in 1940, James Dillett Freeman was charged with writing a Christmas poem. And like many poems, it rhymes. The light of Christ directs me. The love of Christ enfolds me. The power of Christ protects me. The presence of Christ upholds me. Right? It was this lovely little Christmas prayer. And then in 1940, the poem was changed to a prayer. In 1940, World War II was raging across Europe. And people caught in that conflict or who had relatives somewhere in Europe were reaching out to Silent Unity and begging for prayers for protection. Freeman rewrote his poem and turned it into a prayer. He took away the rhyming nature of the poem and created a powerful prayer. He wanted to make the prayer inclusive, so people from any faith background would feel comfortable saying it. So he changed the word Christ to God. So this is the prayer as he wrote it. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. The prayer began to be circulated all over U.S. and Europe. And when the U.S. entered the war, the prayer was there for our soldiers, wherever they were in the world. But later, the last line came to Freeman, and he added it through the prayer protection because he felt it increased the power. Wherever I am, God is. He had a message for anyone in any circumstances. Those who are at home, young people at school, at work or on the job, and for our soldiers, this last line was a powerful reminder they were never alone. So the prayer for protection was widely distributed all over the world and beyond. Astronaut Buzz Aldrin took the prayer with him on the Apollo 11 mission to the moon, where he left it. So the prayer is even in space. When you look at the prayer, here it is. What is missing from what we say? And all is well, because that was never part of the prayer. As a matter of fact, Reverend Richard Rogers used to stand in the back and he would say, and all is well. Right? See, the prayer for protection continues to evolve as Unity Church members make it more meaningful for their own lives. Some churches have added to the prayer a way to affirm our divine nature. Notice the change from me to us, as well as the addition of affirmations. So the light of God surrounds us, we are light. The love of God enfolds me, we are love. The power of God protects us, we are power. The presence of God watches over us, we are presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well, we are divine. Other Unity churches have changed the prayer for protection into a call and response. The worship leader begins by saying the first part, the light of God surrounds us, and the people respond, I am the light of the world. So we're going to try this out today. I'll start with the words that are written in the prayer, and then the bold writing is for you to read. Okay, are we ready? The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever I am, God is. Now, how did that feel? I'm going to ask you to tell your neighbor how you felt saying the call and response. Go ahead. Did everybody get a chance to share? All right, if you can share your last thought or idea. So listening in on your conversations, I heard many things. From I liked it to I felt silly, but I heard two distinct responses, powerful and uncomfortable. So let me speak to powerful. When we say the prayer for protection at the end of the service, does it have power for you? You see, it does matter what we say, but one of our principles in Unity is action. It matters more how we live the prayer for protection. This is more than a lovely benediction at the end of the service. It is an empowerment prayer. We must pray consciously to have and believe in what we say, and you have to live it. I think that is what makes the I am statements so powerful. As you say them, you are reminded of the truth of who you are. You are claiming your spiritual power, your spiritual identity. And remember what Stan Lee said through Spider-Man comics, with great power comes great responsibility. Okay, I said I also heard a second response. Amidst the feelings of power were also feelings of being uncomfortable. Why might that be? Because as you said some of these I am statements, they didn't ring true for you. The danger in any I am statement is if you don't believe it's true for you, your mind and your ego will begin to fight against it. That's not right. I don't believe it. How can that be? Well, maybe for other people, but not for me. Right? So instead of igniting an internal fight, work your way up to some of those I am statements. For example, I am the light of God. You might begin by saying an I am statement you do believe and you know is true for you. I am filled with God's light. Or, God's light is available to me. Make the I am statement or affirmation match your faith beliefs. I invite you to remember our faith is always evolving and changing as we do. So in our little booklet, we have a story about rising consciousness. We read it, and it's a story by Reverend Ellen Davenport, and it's about a boy named Wesley. The article is called, "What Does a 5-Year-Old Know About God?" Wesley was 5 years old and had questions about God. One night as he was drifting off to sleep, he said to his mother, "Mom, I used to think I knew what God is, but now I think I might be wrong." "Oh," she answered. "I used to think God is everywhere, in everything and in everyone. But now I think God might be a person." No surprise there. In our society, never mind our churches, we often describe God as the man upstairs, or a judge who is always on the lookout for bad behavior, a temperamental being with clear likes and dislikes, a really big person, or a supreme being. What started Wesley's line of questioning was the prayer for protection he was learning in Sunday school. The children were practicing to lead the prayer at the end of worship. Wesley added, "The power of God protects us. Does that mean God is like a superhero? And the presence of God watches over us. Does that mean God has eyeballs? Does God have a body?" Wesley had been studying body parts in preschool, so his mother asked him, "Have you ever seen your heart?" "No, but I know it keeps me alive," he said. Well, God is like a heart. It's in everyone. Wesley thought about it, went to sleep, and then the conversation continued the next day. He continued to ask questions, and finally he announced to his mother, "I get it. God is like my breath. It goes into me and keeps me alive, but it also flows out of me, so it's all around me and around everyone and in everyone. I was right the first time," he concluded. God is everywhere. Wesley incorporated his new understanding into his meal blessing as a form of gratitude. He said, "I'm glad God is everywhere. I'm glad God is in everything. I'm glad God is love. I'm glad God is in me." You see, from Wesley, that our Christ consciousness grows. It's possible to change your mind, think about it in a new way, and confirm what you already know is true. An I am statement is only as powerful as the conviction that fills your heart when you say it. You can say, "I am sustained by the strength of God." Or you can say, "I am strong." Or you can say and mean, "I am divine strength." The prayer for protection is a challenge to know God as light, love, power, presence, and the great I am. It is a challenge to know divine light, love, power, and presence is within, and it is you. So I challenge you to live the prayer for protection. Your homework is to pray the prayer for protection outside of the church service. How many people already do that and say it at some other time in their life? Excellent, but I want you to do your homework. I want you to dig into those 5 lines and keep asking yourself, how does this have meaning in my life? I also want you to think and link each line of the prayer to your own personal I am statement. Create an I am statement that you believe to the core of your being. You might want to start right away and practice some of these I am statements with friends during fellowship. Let's take a minute to think about them. The light of God surrounds me. I am. The love of God enfolds me. I am. The power of God protects me. I am. The presence of God watches over me. I am. Wherever I am, God is. I am. And for all of us who worship here, and all is well. Or swell. Okay. Remember, the truth you know is the truth you use. Otherwise, it is only theory, and it has no power to change your life. So to all of you, blessings to the week ahead as you work on your homework.